Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm Kimberly, and if this is your first time here, just wanted to let you know on this channel we love all things beauty. So from makeup, perfume, skincare, and hair, if those things interest you, just keep on watching. So today I am doing a collaboration video with my friend Erika Tesla. She's here on YouTube as well. If you're not following her, definitely go check her out and subscribe to her channel. She is a sorority sister of mine, and when we both received this new palette from Gourmande Girls in PR, we decided we had to collab on it. So today we are doing another look with the Apparation palette. I'm very excited to use it. I figured today we'll do kind of a bluey green look. And so if you haven't seen the palette, this is their take on Spooky Spring. It's available now on the Gourmande Girls website, and you can use code Kimberly to save yourself 10% if you're interested. So I already have my face done. I've already put on my foundation, concealer, blushes, and eye primer, which I did use the lock-in base from Dede Signature. If you decide to pick that up, you can go to their site, use code Kimberly, save yourself 10% on that as well. But that's what I have on today. And I'll go more into that in the description box. I'm going to talk about this beautiful palette from Gourmande Girls. And of course, I wanted to tell you a story of actually one of the times I got to hang out with the owner, Christina, in Austin, Texas. So I'm a part of this makeup group called Fellowship of the Traveling Makeup. I'll pop up a picture so you can see who they are. And we've been talking probably for about 2 years now. It started off as a makeup interest group or trip interest group with Angelica Nyquist, also on YouTube here. She wanted to get together a bunch of people who are like-minded, love makeup, and love travel. And as part of that discussion group, a group of us kept talking even after the trip was scheduled and completed. So we decided to make our own little group where we talk about basically all things beauty pretty much every day. And we decided that we would like to get together and have a trip for us. So we decided to go to Austin, Texas. This was last year. And of course, Christina lives in Austin. So we invited her as well. And it was really a wonderful experience. We got together. We had a makeup session where we used Gourmande Girls Cosmetics. In fact, we were using the Mocha Moment palette. I'll insert the picture so you can see what I looked like that day and kind of help this story context that I'm giving you. So we're going to start with this navy blue shade, Plutonium Shore, as I just dropped the palette. No damage. So we are going to start here with this navy blue shade, Plutonium Shore. And I'm just going to put that here in my outer V area. And we can see how pigmented this color is. Look at that. It's going on so well. So while we were in Austin, again, we were having a makeup session. And we were taking pictures. One of the attendees actually did my makeup for me while the other members of the group were putting on their makeup. So it was a nice little glam session. We had a wonderful time. At the end of the session, we were going to go out to lunch. So I wanted to go to my room to go get my purse so I would be, able to go out to lunch. So I left the room and took the elevator down to my room, which was like a floor down or so, a couple floors down. So I took the elevator to go get my stuff. And on the way, I'm going to go into this greeny shade right here. This is Relic. And I'm going to put this just on the inner part of the eye right here. A little bit of fallout, that's okay. We can wipe that away later. If that bothers you, you may want to consider doing your face last. which is what I usually do. Just for the sake of the video, I went ahead and did my face first. So look how pigmented that is. So pretty. So anyway, so I'm getting on the elevator, and on the elevator is this cute little family of 3 with the baby that looks like about 6 months old. Another gentleman who was attending a conference in the hotel. A gentleman who was in the area getting treatment for cancer, and his wife. And then myself. So we get on the elevator, and as soon as I get on, the door's closed, and then there's a big shake motion, and then the elevator quit. So everyone starts looking around, and they're like, the elevator's broke. So we call or try to get the intercom. Unfortunately, nothing worked at first. And because I was the only person who was in the elevator who was by themselves, so again, there's a couple families in there, so their person is in the elevator with them. And the other gentleman was in his conference by himself. So he tried to call his manager, and then I tried to call some of my other folks who were waiting for me in the lobby to let them know what was going on. So they went to the front desk, told them what was going on. We finally got the button in the elevator to work, told them that the elevator had stopped. We were stuck. The people downstairs tried to restart the elevator. That didn't work. So they said, okay, we're going to send the fire department to come get y'all. So of course, you can imagine that since the elevator was stopped, and this is obviously in the summer in Austin, Texas, it starts to get pretty warm. So there was one gentleman who was there, and you could tell he was pretty nervous about being in an elevator that's not moving, which you can understand. And he starts sweating profusely. The gentleman who was here for cancer treatments, he was over there cracking jokes. And I'm just on the phone trying to get somebody to give us some help. So we call one of the people in our group. They're down talking to the people in the front. We're waiting for the fire department to come. They say, oh, it's about 20, 30 minutes away. So we start talking to each other. You know, the baby is doing wonderfully. Doesn't cry, just kind of sitting there being held by mom and dad. And the whole time we're sitting there just worried about, okay, obviously trying to get out of this elevator. I've never been stuck in an elevator before and do not want to do it again. And so when one of the people who were on the phone, and I'm now going to go into Celeste, which is this light blue shade here. Just going to put this on the upper part here. You can see it kind of just over where that dark blue shade is. Look at that. Oh, that's pretty. Just kind of smoking that out a little bit. I'm really liking that. So just trying to smoke it out here. Look at that. And for a lighter shade, this shows up very well. And I'm using a lighter base, but it's not a white base. So it's really impressive how much this is showing up. So anyway, we're sitting there talking, and I'm on the phone with someone, and we're all like, okay, well, how's everybody doing? Everybody was fine at the time, you know, other than the gentleman who obviously was sweating profusely, but he was doing okay, but you could tell he was pretty nervous. So the person on the phone starts talking, and we're like, okay, how y'all doing? We're doing fine. And then they mention, well, they're trying to limit the casualties, so we're waiting for the fire department to get there. So the gentleman who was already sweating starts sweating more. And I was sitting there thinking to myself, I hope I don't have to use my CPR. But luckily, probably about 10 to 15 minutes later, so we were totally in the elevator stuck, I would say, for probably about 30, 40 minutes. The fire department comes, and because the elevator was stuck in between floors when it stopped, They had to kind of help us get out of the elevator. So, I was in the front, so I was the first one out, and I immediately just went down the stairs to meet everybody else. And the funniest part about it, obviously not all that funny, just going back into that green shade, I just don't want to lose it since I added that lighter blue shade. Very nice. No additional product on that blue shade. I just kind of want to fade that just a tad. Now I'm putting a little extra product. So I'm going to put a little bit of that green shade on the lower part of my lid here. It's going to act as a base for the shimmers. Okay, so now I have the green laid down there. And we'll start putting on some of the shimmers. So first, I'm going to use my handy dandy Shine On. This is with Cleona and Bad to the Brow. It's a nice glitter glue that I really truly enjoy. It really helps with decreasing creasing and with the longevity of my shimmers. So I'm just going to put this all over the lid, like so. And let that dry down just a little bit. And then the shimmers that I'm going to use, this really beautiful purple and blue, dark grungy looking multi-chrome. Look at that, so pretty. And then I'm going to use this, other shimmer, Manifest, which is this beautiful kind of lime green shimmer. And I'm going to put that on the inner part of my lid. So we're going to have, again, the Crypt on the outer part of my lid and Manifest, this beautiful green shimmer on the inner. So I'm just going to apply it just like so. And I like to use my fingers because I think it makes the shimmers kind of pop a little bit more. And then I usually go back in and clean with the brush. But look at that, that's so pretty. And then now we're gonna put Manifest here on the inner part. And kind of have them meld together so you can see that. Beautiful. And then I'm going to go back in to the darker shade and just kind of blend that out so that it's not as sharp between the matte and the shimmer and the outer V. Right. And then I'm going to take, this is a Sigma brush here. This is, I think this is the eye shading brush from Sigma. I think it's the E55. And I'm just smoothing on that shimmer. Just like that. And you see it's becoming more foiled. And then on the other side of the brush, grabbing Manifest. And just trying to smooth that one out a little bit. So that's it there. And now we'll just do the other side. Getting more of the Crypt again. And Manifest. And again, putting this on the outer part here. and then manifest on the inner part of the lid, just like so. So again, with that Sigma, just trying to clean up. Using that Crypt shade, and now going back in with the Manifest shade on the other side of the brush. Just tapping that in. And then this is with the Sonia G, going back into that Plutonian Shore shade, that deep navy, and putting that in the outer here, just so that again the two meet and mesh together. Really pretty. Just putting a little bit more of that green, kind of tidy that up a little bit. And here, good. So when we get out of the elevator, and I'm just going to put on some of the Thrive mascara. So we get out of the elevator, we going down and meeting everybody. Remember, the elevator had been off for about 30 to 40 minutes. Everybody's hot, everyone's sweating. Do you know what was not sweating? My face. My friend used 2 different setting sprays. I can't remember one of them, but I know one of them was Charlotte Tilbury. And my makeup did not move. So even though we were hot and sweaty and not looking good, I can tell you what, my face was still beat. So I was able just to kind of dry off a little bit in the air conditioning and went out. So if anybody from Charlotte is watching, that's a wonderful setting spray. It made it through an elevator without any air conditioning for 40 minutes. So you have a believer in me after that, let me say. Now, I've been stuck in the elevator before, and I can honestly say I'll be okay if I never get stuck again. But at least I can say that I do, and my makeup is done. If I have on at least Charlotte Tilbury, my makeup still look good afterwards. But definitely highly not recommend if humanly possible. And just in case you wanted to know, for the rest of the vacation, I took the stairs. All right, so I am loving how this is looking. I'm gonna finish up, put on some lashes, and then I'll come back with the final look. However, first you're gonna see the perfume of the day segment. My scent of the day, I decided to layer the new fragrances from Kayali, the Eden Plush Pear and the Eden Sweet Peach. The notes for the Plush Pear are Plush Pear, Mandarin, Freesia, Gardenia, Sandalwood, and Vanilla Caviar. For the Sweet Peach, we have Sweet Peach, Red Apple, Frangipani, Nectarine, Oak Moss, and Musk. I really am enjoying how these scents work by themselves, but particularly layered. I think the smell of the pear and the peach are augmented when I put them together. It kind of rolls into mandarin and apple for me, and then I kind of smell the sandalwood, vanilla, and musk at the end. They wear very well. I'm able to get about 4 to 6 hours of wear on them, and I really feel like they're a great combination, especially if you're looking for a spring/summer scent that is very fruity and a little bit florally as well. Love them both together. So glad to have them in my collection and excited to get to wear them not only by themselves, but also continue to wear them in combination. So if you think these scents would appeal to you, I don't think you will be disappointed. And if you like some of their other Eden scents, like the Juicy Apple, these would be great for your collection. So I'm back with the finished look. So to finish up, I did put on the lower lash line, basically a mimic of the upper. So I put some of Relic on the inner part of the lower lash line and kind of smoked it out with Plutonium Shore on the outer. For my inner corner, I had to play with this beautiful marble shade right here, Immortale, and I just put that on the inner corner here. So again, Relic, Plutonium Shore, and Immortale there. As far as my lippy, I used Cosmic Beauty lip liner, and this was in their recent release. I'm not sure of the shade because I've used it so much I've wiped it off. But this was in their recent release for a lip line. From the Trap collection on my lips, I used Snap Trap. And so that's what this beautiful lippy I have on. I thought it would go nicely with this eye look. As far as my other face details, I used the new Blend Bunny and Jordan Liberty bronzer palette for my bronzer and contour today. I used the blush palette and I just mixed Exhibition and Fetish. For my highlighter, I used from Devaroon Cosmetics, this really beauty shade. It was actually from the collaboration with Andromeda and Devaroon, and that's just this pretty highlight that you see on my cheeks. Absolutely stunning. For my lashes, from Naina Beauty, which is a new beauty brand, these are in the style Punjab, and these are really nice fluttery lashes. I feel like they're very dramatic and really kind of spice up this look. So Punjab from Naina Beauty, she kindly sent this to me in PR. So I'm enjoying that. I've worn this for the second time and they're really nice lashes, and I really like what they've done for the look. So the Apparition palette, love it. I think it's beautiful. It's a beautiful spring palette. If this color story speaks to you, you can do a lot of different looks. I have another video on my channel where you can see 2 other looks that I did with this palette. If you follow me on Instagram at KClayMD14, I have other looks available there as well. So I have really been enjoying it. It's a beautiful spring palette. I love the fact that these shadows show up so well on my skin tone. Very pigmented, easily blendable, and beautiful. If you decide to pick this up, please use or consider using my code Kimberly. It'll help you save 10%. It's affiliated, and if you do, really appreciate you. And thanks again to Erika Tesla for collaborating me on this video. Again, if you haven't seen her channel, go check her out. She's wonderful. And so that's it for today, guys. I hope this finds you all well. Hope you're having a great day. And just remember, live your best life. This is not a dress rehearsal. You are on stage, so make it the best performance ever. Bye, guys.